The Prince and the Poor Girl, Royalty Amongst the Commoners, Kids' Adventure Stories, written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. Do you know what it's like to be a prince? Richard does, but he doesn't like it for one bit. All those responsibilities and tasks, all those codes of conduct and manners. He decides to sneak out and experience life on the streets. But when he does, he meets a very special person, one who changes his life completely. Destined to fight an evil villain and rescue a girl, he sets forth on a political adventure that will alter the course of history and break through the traditions of the times. Listen about the courageous Richard, a prince who sees the value in others and shows the whole country how to be a true, noble human being. Chapter 1. Royal Duties. 7 o'clock a.m. Get up and take a shower by throwing a bucket of water over my head, while all the royal servants stand ready to hand me towels and the clothes that I am supposed to wear that day. 7:30 a.m. I finally get that awkward moment over with and head to the study room, where I learn about Latin, a dead language, or the takeover of the villagers in Minersfield, a long-forgotten civilization. 8:30 a.m. More history and languages. I swear, if I study more dead languages, I might join the zombies in the graves sometimes and start communicating with them. 9:30 a.m. Breakfast, the much-needed substances that keep my brain on track and give me the energy I need to pump more information in my head. I always hope for Eleanor, the cook, because the other one is terrible at cooking. It's a 50% change each day. Am I going to eat something disgusting or delicious? 10 o'clock a.m. Etiquette training. Sitting up straight, posture, speaking manners, working on my accent, and stirring a teacup in the correct direction. That sort of stuff. Ugh. 11 o'clock a.m. Sign papers concerning this or that. My servants read them to me, and most of them have to interpret the complicated words they use on those documents in a way that it actually makes sense to me. If I feel like it, I can put my signature at the bottom and approve. 12 o'clock p.m. Discussions about the kingdom, mostly one-way conversations, meaning that I have to listen to my dad babbling on about the affairs of the kingdom. Sounds like a real party, doesn't it? 12:45 p.m. Recite everything I learned that morning so that they can check up on me and see if I am actually making progress or bribing the teachers. 1 o'clock p.m. Lunch, usually a lot smaller than breakfast. Again, I always hope for Eleanor, the better of the two cooks. 1:30 p.m. Geography and science research. 2:30 p.m. Math, which I am actually kind of good at, but I still think it's one of the most boring subjects in the world. Besides, the teacher has bad breath and he is hard to understand. And did I mention he is really ugly? 3:30 p.m. More math. Sometimes it seems like it never stops. 4:30 p.m. Art class or music studies. It depends on the day. When I played the violin, it sounded like someone grabbed a bunch of cattails on a rocking chair, so they switched me to the trumpet. Art is awesome. It's my one moment every 2 days that I can relax and apply my skills. The teacher says that I am a terrific painter, which motivates me even more. 5:15 p.m. Is art or music class already over? Oh man, I was just getting into it. Now I have to put my face into these dusty books again. 6 o'clock p.m. Dinner, and hopefully by the right cook. 7 o'clock p.m. A long list of royal duties I have to memorize. Every day I have to recite them and practice them in front of my parents. I believe there are at least 1,000 of them, maybe more. And I always forget number 549, the one about being an obedient, loyal member of the king's house. By the way, I always frown upon number 308, which says I have to marry a princess of a royal lineage from another country. Believe me, I want to get married, but this rule makes my choices a little limited, doesn't it? 9 o'clock p.m. As you can imagine, we always have to take 2 hours for all these royal duties, so only at 9 o'clock I can finally do something fun, like sword training or something. My instructor is awesome. He knows every move, and he teaches me new fighting tricks each day. 10 o'clock p.m. After the workout, I take another shower, just as awkward as the one in the morning. 10:20 p.m. I am expected to report to my dad. He goes over what I did that day. After that, I can do what I want, but that's only for about 10 minutes or so. When I have to go to bed, my brain is fried. And when I sleep, I am sure that more than half of what I learned that day will be forgotten the next day. So there you have it. This is my schedule. My name is Prince Richard. My parents are the king and queen, and I am an only child in a huge palace. Trust me, the environment is great, the palace is beautiful. But each day, I am wondering what this is all good for. As you may have noticed, the best times are when I have art class or fight training. I don't care for a lot of other things I do. The routine is killing me. I want variety, some adventure, something new. And tomorrow, I am going to figure out a way to get what I want. Chapter 2. Liberty. Okay, so maybe I am not proud of myself, but I need a break, don't I? So yes, I am sneaking out. It's 5:30 a.m., so early, but I just knew I wanted it. I have been sitting in this palace long enough, studying books and reciting boring rules. I deserve it. Besides, my grades were excellent, so why would anyone complain? I get out of my bed and put on some clothes. Not the colorful ones trimmed with gold. No, no, no. I'm putting on some rags I found in one of the servants' rooms. They always dress up when they're here, but I don't think they wear these fancy things outside the palace walls. So I snatched one of their outfits away and hid it in my bedroom until today. I look in the mirror and chuckle. Ha! I look as poor as a beggar on the street. Nice! Exactly what I was aiming for. I look to the corner of my room. There is a cloak on a chair. I don't know what it's good for, but my dad put it there some time ago and never explained to me why. Oh well, leave it. I'm on my way out. I grab some golden coins, just in case, and put them in my pocket. Then I put on a hat that will cover my face and slowly turn the key in my bedroom door. I look around and see nobody. Perhaps a few cooks or other servants are up already, but if I stay quiet, I won't have any problem getting out of the palace. Oh, wait. The guards at the front gate. Whoops. I haven't thought of those yet. How am I going to get past them? Well, maybe I'll figure it out when I get there. I tiptoe through the hallways and exit the humongous palace through a small side door. I can tell why this door hasn't been used much. The wood is rotting a little bit and it squeaks. When I step outside, there isn't even a path to it. Just bushes I have to hack my way through with a rod I found. Then I get to the fence. 15 feet high. Youch! The spikes at the top aren't looking very inviting, but I decide to climb up anyway. The first 14 feet or so are actually really easy, but then the spikes. I hesitate. What if the Oh, who cares? Let's just do it. I climb over the spikes and hear a ripping sound. My pants and shirt ripped a little, but luckily not in the most embarrassing places. I jump down and run away through the trees surrounding the palace fence. Free! Then I get to the city. I am amazed at what I see. Coming through, a man says, pushing me aside and holding a big cart with oranges and apples. What do you mean? I just bought a permit. I have the right to set up my booth here, I hear another man yell at some citizen across from him. And then I told him that if he wanted me to look perfect, he should consider shaving for once, I hear a woman tell another woman as they are walking past me. Ha! This is great. I actually get to see how it is outside the palace walls. Life is so different here. I have been longing for this for a while now, and I finally did it. Cheerfully, I walk past the marketplace and the commoners, observing the early morning hustle and bustle of the city. Dogs are barking, women are chatting, vendors are shouting and promoting their products, children are running around, and senior citizens are calmly sitting on benches and staring in front of them. This is city life, and I love it. Chapter 3: Fighting for Justice. I look to the left and to the right. It's so wonderful to finally get to see all the things they're selling, the people who are talking and interacting with each other, and to just observe the somewhat impoverished homes in the background. As I keep walking, a lot of things go through my mind. There is so much to see that my brains cannot catch up with my eyes. And there she is. Wow. Oh, I haven't met her yet, not in this lifetime at least, but something is telling me that I have already known her for a long time. The moment I see her, I am not sure if that's just because I find her so attractive, or that there really is a part of me that recognizes her face. But whatever the reason is, I can't keep my eyes off her. She has red hair, more like orange actually. And when I stare at her, I realize I wasn't always interested in girls with red hair. Not in the ones I met, at least. But this one, I don't even know how to describe her. She doesn't just move when she walks, she strides, taking big, elegant steps wherever she goes. Her hair reaches down to her lower back and her eyes, those green eyes. They sparkle in the sunlight, reflecting the innocence of her inner soul. She is slightly shorter than I am, and the brown tattered dress and white top she wears don't do her figure justice. Her face is more precious than the purest gold I have seen in the palace. "Hey, watch where you're going, punk," a guy tells me as he bumps into me. My first reaction is to say, "How dare you talk to me that way? I am the prince." But then I realize that this would blow my cover, and that is the last thing I want to happen. "Sorry," I say. "Yeah, you better be. People like you shouldn't even be here. You drag down the whole economy." "People like me? What do you mean?" "Beggars, scallywags, the poor leeches of society. You are giving this city a bad name." Now I really feel like taking off my disguise and showing him who I am, but I am much more interested in what he has to say. He goes on for another minute, telling me that he works hard for his money, and that the poor people on the street are taking advantage of the generosity of some. He says it's because that the beggars tell him there aren't enough jobs, but then reassures me that if I would look hard enough, I may be able to find something. I thank him for the tip and turn my head towards the direction of the beautiful girl I saw. Hey, where did she go? I have to find her. She's got to be around here somewhere. I walk to the spot where I saw her and take another look around. Aha, there she is. She is at some house, knocking on the door. Some might say it's a little creepy I am stalking this pretty young female, but I just want to get to know her and actually make some eye contact. At first I observe her from a distance. The door she knocked on opens up. A fat woman comes out and says, "What do you want?" "I am here to pick up my payment," the girl says. "Don't be ridiculous," the fat woman says. "You did an awful job this week. You're not getting a dime." "But I worked for hours every day. The place is clean. I saw it with my own eyes." "Are you calling me a liar?" No, the girl stammers. "Look, you little tramp. I saw dust on the floor, filth in the chimney, and specks in the kitchen. If I would pay for that, I might as well do it myself. Now get out of here before I get the palace guards." The fat woman slams the door, and the poor girl sits down on the sidewalk. I watch for a few seconds as I see her bury her face in her hands and shed a few tears. This was awful. It sounds like this girl worked all week cleaning this woman's house and doesn't get paid because of a few specks of dust. I get a little nervous. What should I do? Go over and put my arm around her? That would be weird. No, that wouldn't do anything. Or should I wait until she is done crying? You can tell I don't have a lot of experience with these situations. It's something you don't learn in the big history books, and not even in the sophisticated psychology classes I am taking. I take courage and approach the girl. When I stand next to her, I just say, "Ahem." She looks up and waits for more words. I saw what just happened. It doesn't seem fair to me, I said. She just stares, not knowing what to say. Anyway, I think it's stupid, and I want to compliment you for the work you did. Thank you, she says quietly. Well, and then I get stuck. I have no clue what else I should say, and then I just blurt it out. I love your eyes, I say. Oops, that sounded dumb and completely out of context. Is she going to slap me in the face? Is she going to walk away or look at me in a weird way? Thank you, she says. Whew, that was close. She's sweet. I already thought so when I saw her, but now it just got confirmed again. She noticed I am having a hard time with keeping the conversation going, so she decides to stand up and say something herself. It's okay now, she says as she wipes away her tears. It's not the first time this has happened. I'm already over it. I have 3 cleaning jobs, and this woman is the worst one. She doesn't always pay because she claims it's still filthy. But I have seen her husband and friends come over and get it dirty again, and then they say it's my fault. That's not fair at all, I say. I'll go over there and show that lady how to justly deal with her employees. No, don't do that, she says. You'll just make her angry, and then she won't let me come at all. It's all right. Let's just go into town. By the way, my name is Yara. What is yours? Richard, I say, after which I suddenly cover my mouth, hoping that I didn't say anything stupid. Oh, that's nice, she says, just like the prince. Yeah, just like the prince, I say, covering my face a little more by pulling my hat down. Do you know him? Of course not, she says. I've never seen him. I just heard about him. I mean, doesn't everybody at least know the names of the royal family? I guess so. But hey, tell me something more about yourself. Ha ha, she says laughingly. What else is there to tell? I have 2 little brothers and 1 younger sister. My parents live on the outskirts of town, and I clean for a living. I don't have much time left after that. I told you I have 3 cleaning jobs. It's pretty time-consuming. So I assume you're making a lot of money with those, right? Are you kidding? Those jobs don't pay diddly squat. I barely get by, and whatever is left I pay to my parents to feed my siblings. That sounds very noble of you, I say. My conscience is clear, she says. I do what I can, but if I ever find a better alternative, I would certainly go for it. I see, that makes sense. And then Yara asks something I was afraid of. How about you? What do you do for a living? It's not like you're radiating a high status either. Chapter 4. More Than Friendship. This is the moment I dreaded. I don't want to lie to Yara, but I don't think it's wise at this moment to reveal my identity. If she finds out I am the prince, she will look at me in an entirely different way. I like this girl, and I don't want to blow it. I've heard of so many women falling for men because they're after their money. And even though this sincere, candid young woman only sends signals of purity and innocence, I don't even want to take the risk. Me? I say sheepishly. Yes, you. Who else? What do you do to get by? I do a little bit of everything. Like what? Well, combat training and music. Seriously? That sounds so awesome. Do you play on the streets and have people toss money in your hat or something? You're getting close. And what's the combat training for? Are you trying to become a guard at the royal palace? I am trying my hardest not to lie without revealing anything, so the best thing I can think of is, I am trying to get to the palace someday, that's for sure. There are lots of guards there. Sounds intense, Yara admits. Can you show me some fighting moves? Sure, I say. And we start practicing. I show her some sword defense moves, some locks, and a few standard sparring techniques. I am surprised how fast she is picking it up. It looks like she has a knack for it. After some fun training and a great conversation on a bench, she thanks me and comes a little closer. I have to admit that the back alleys and the slums aren't the most romantic place to have a moment together, but when I see her beautiful face, it's like all the walls around me and the rags hanging on the balconies turn into one big pink flower bed. "So what's your secret, Richard?" she asks. "Are you as noble and intelligent as they say the real prince is?" Secret? Who says I have a secret?" "Well, you don't have to tell me everything, but I've noticed you've been beating around the bush a little. It's strange. I've never seen you in this area of the city before, and still you act like you've lived here for all your life. You're a really nice guy, but you're too handsome to be nice. You seem confident, but you're as poor as a rat. I was too focused on the loss of money I experienced, but when I looked up, it was like I already knew you. Does that sound weird? Something is a little off, but I can't put my finger on it." "It doesn't sound weird at all," I say. "And you're right, I haven't told you everything yet, but I will. Is that okay?" She gets really close. I see her lips coming at me to kiss me. Before she does, she softly says, "It's totally fine with me." After a few seconds in heaven, she lets go of my head and looks at me deep into my eyes. At that moment, I know I will never want anyone else in my life. Too bad the moment doesn't last, that one, because suddenly she turns the other way and says, "I'm sorry, but I have to go to my next cleaning job. I will see you later. Please keep hanging out here. I come here almost every day. We'll definitely meet again, right?" "Oh, Yara?" "Yes," she says with a smile, turning her head and waving her long hair in the wind. "Please accept this small gift. I have to go too, but yesterday I made some extra money. I want you to have it, just so your family can have a little more." I hand her the golden coins in my pocket. Her mouth falls wide open. Then she says, "I knew there was something else about you. Are you pretending to be poor or something? You know what? Never mind. I will gladly accept these, and you can tell me later. Thank you so much." I get another kiss, this time on the cheek. She takes the coins and happily runs off into another alley. Address. Why didn't I get an address? Oh well. She says she hangs out here a lot, so maybe I will still be able to find her. I almost jump for joy and hurry back to the palace, impatient to tell my parents about Yara. Chapter 5. Changes. I run to the palace gates and notice the guards are gone. What is that supposed to mean? They never get rid of their guards here. Something isn't right. I just know it. So I keep running and open the palace doors. Still nobody there. It's strange. I head to the main palace hall, which is behind the first hall you see when entering the palace. Aha! Everybody is here. But what are they doing? "Welcome, Prince Richard," a dark figure says while turning around. "I knew you would come sooner or later." My mother and father are tied up with a rope, and so are the guards. They are all sitting on the cold floor, some of them knocked out and others just staring in the distance. "What is going on here, and who are you?" I ask. "I am not surprised you never noticed me," the scrawny servant in its black coat says. "Nobody ever does. But now that you're here, I will explain it quickly so you'll know why I am going to kill you." "Kill me? What did I ever do to you?" "My name is Malthus. I am the least appreciated servant in this palace. I was training to be a guard, you know, but because I was too small, they wouldn't let me continue. Do you know what they did to me?" "I'm sure you are about to tell me," I say with a sarcastic tone. "Little smarty pants, I will tell you what happened. They dumped me into the kitchen. Cleaning dishes was all I was good for. All day long I would scrub and work, and despite all that I was being ridiculed by the guards. They said I was more like a woman doing a woman's work. They mocked me and laughed at me, and all because your stupid trainer wouldn't accept me into his training gym. But I will show him. I'll show you. I will show everyone that I can fight. There is more to fighting than a bunch of kicks and punches, you know. Just watch me." I try to tell him that I believe him and that he doesn't have to prove himself, But it is too late. This guy has been hurt from the moment he accepted a job at the palace. He is bitter and angry, and there is no stopping him now. Chapter 6. Fight. Malthus spreads his arms and raises them above his head. "Dark creatures, arise!" he exclaims. A thick vapor of smoke emanates from the palms of his hands and takes shape far above his head. The smoke hangs there for a few seconds and then splits up into 10 smaller vapors of smoke, which quickly descend and crash on the palace floor. From the dust on the floor, 10 dark creatures slowly take shape and look straight at me with their glowing purple eyes. Whoa, creepy! How does this guy do that? Did he learn some magic spells or something? "Dark creatures, attack!" Malthus commands. The dark creatures come towards me. I don't have a weapon. What am I to do? I think and think. They are almost right in front of me. Then I make a decision. I decide to run. Wah! I run the other way, towards the entrance of the big palace hall that I came through. In the distance, I hear a vague voice say, "Dark creatures, follow!" But I don't care. I just want to get out of there. A weapon, a weapon. I need a weapon. Where can I find a weapon? Ah, my room. There's a sword behind my bed. I never told anyone about it, but it just made me feel safer. I run up the stairs, all the way to the highest palace tower where my room is located. I hear the footsteps of the dark creatures behind me. As fast as I can, I open the door and run towards the back of my bed. I pull out the sword and look at the chair in the corner. What the? The cloak is gone. What is going on here? Then I think back. Does that evil Malthus have the cloak? I remember seeing something on his back, but I didn't get close enough to see what it was. For the moment, though, I don't know of any other explanation than that he stole it. And if he has the cloak, then perhaps that is the magical item that empowers him to summon these dark creatures. Is it a magic cloak? My enemies aren't giving me any more time to ponder. They have arrived at the palace tower and are standing in front of me. There is no way out, so I decide to go back into my room and lock the door. After I lock the door, I look at my bed and get an idea. If I could tie the sheets and blankets on my bed to each other and to something sturdy, then I could swing out the window and end on one of the palace rooftops without breaking my neck. The dark creatures are banging on the door. It's only a matter of time before they get in and break it. I have to act quickly. I get the sheets and tie them together in the best way I know how, and then tie it to the bed. That should do the trick. Then I put the sword on my back and step a little over the edge. I look out the window. Yikes, that's pretty high. But this is the best way to escape these evil monsters. I count to 3. 1, 2, crack! The door opens up and the dark creatures flock into my bedroom. I better go now. 3! I jump out, hold on to the sheets as tightly as I can, and swing through the air. After swinging back and forth a few times, I find a window I can swing into. I sway one way, turn my body, and jump into the window, after which I roll to break my fall. Yes! I exclaim. I did it! Now let's go find that treacherous servant of mine, Malthus. I get out of the room and find my way back down. I arrive at the palace hall and kick the door open. It's between you and me, I say in a low voice. Come and fight me yourself, coward. How did you get past my dark creatures? I have my ways. Defend yourself before I get really angry. Ha! Do you think I don't know how? I've trained. I am familiar with the fighting techniques they teach in this palace. Come and get me. Then he grabs his sword and an intense fight begins. He stabs, I dodge. I stab, he dodges. Swords are clinging and arms and legs are going back and forth, but he doesn't put up much of a fight because it doesn't take long before his sword ends up on the floor and I point my sword to him. He is sitting and leaning backwards, begging me for mercy. Please, he says, I was only trying to help. You know what kind of a mess the organization of this palace is? Besides, the laws of this country could use some changes." "Oh, I agree with that," I say, "but you're not going to be the one who will make those changes." He is still trying to get away, and as he turns around and attempts to run away, I stab the sword in his cloak. For a second, he feels like he is choking, but then the cloak rips and Malthus runs to the other side of the palace hall. The cloak is on the floor. "Interesting," I say to myself. I put the cloak around my neck and raise my arms. I can feel the power. It's something magical radiating from this piece of cloth. "Dark creatures, seize him!" I command. Within seconds, the dark creatures come through the palace hall door and follow Malthus until they capture him and tie him up. Then I turn to my father and mother and ask them if they are okay. "Yes, my son," my dad says. "Thank you for rescuing us. I knew you could do it." "I will untie you right away, Dad." "Where were you? We couldn't find you anywhere." "I was in my room to escape from the dark creatures," I say. "No, I mean before that. You left the palace, didn't you?" "Yes, Dad. I'm sorry. I just couldn't take it anymore. The routine, the duties, I just needed a day off." "Well, I guess it's okay for once. But tomorrow you'll go back to your studies, won't you?" "Sure, but there is something else." "What is it?" "Two things, actually. First of all, I noticed that the city isn't in such great shape. I was hoping we could do something about the unemployment rate or the poverty." "Great! I was hoping you would get involved a little. After all, you're going to rule the country in my stead someday. We'll get to it and figure out what we can do to make a difference. And what about the other thing?"
I don't know how to say this, but do I have to marry a princess?"
"Why wouldn't you want to?"
"It's just that I met this girl in the city, and I understand the royal duty of keeping the kingdom in place, and the reason why she has to be a princess, but I also want to marry for love."
"Have you fallen in love with this girl?"
Yes. Yes, I think I have."
"Well, put it out of your mind. You should marry a princess. It's been like that for hundreds of years. You can't just go running off with some commoner, some pretty face from the populace."
"Dear," my mom says.
"No," my dad says. "I will not have it. You cannot change the law."
After that, he storms out. My mom walks over to me and says, "Don't worry. I understand. I will talk to him. Are you certain this girl likes you for who you are and not just because you are a prince?" "I am sure, Mom. I haven't even told her that I am a prince, which is why I am wearing these clothes." "Okay, I will do what I can," she says. Chapter 7. Princesses. A month later, my dad has gathered all the princesses in the vicinity. Some from castles, other from countries that take more than a day to travel. I just know he wants to make me sure not to skip out on some royal educated girl who has learned to behave in delicate manners all her life. The trumpets sound. The ceremony begins. I am standing next to the throne with my father and mother sitting on their seats. He looks to the other side of the room. 20 princesses walk in, dressed in beautiful gowns, looking sharp and making themselves eligible. "I am Princess Gabriella," one of them says with a heavy accent. Another steps forward and says, "I am Princess Veronica." "Princess Magdalene," another says while stepping forward. It continues like this for another 5 or 10 minutes, and although I must admit that they were all looking quite pretty, I just can't choose one based on the outward appearance or some colorful dress. My dad turns to me and says, "Son, you may choose one of these fancy young ladies to dance with you. Whom is it you wish to get to know better?" "I'm sorry, Dad. I love the way they look. They really did their best, and I highly respect all these princesses. But I made up my mind a month ago. I cannot put the girl I met in the city out of my head. I have to find her." My mom looks at my dad with a look that says, "I told you so," and my dad sighs. He rolls his eyes and raises his hand. Then he says, "Fine, honey, bring her in." "What? Huh? Bring whom in?" My mother signals to one of the servants, and the servant opens the door through which the princesses came. What happens then will always remain in my memory. She looks like an angel from heaven. There she is, Yara, the girl of my dreams. My eyes open wide. I gaze at her walking in, striding in her lime green dress. I look at my parents. "What is the meaning of all this?" I ask. "Well," my mom begins, "you've been talking about her so much this month that I made some of our servants do a search and find her. When they found her, they told her who you are and asked her if she wanted to come today, just in case you would choose her over all the others. She happily agreed. We dressed her up, and here she is." "But don't I have to marry royalty? Don't I have to choose a princess?" My dad smiles and says, "Oh, that rule has been outdated." This is the happiest day of my life. More enthusiastic than ever, I run towards her and lift her up in the air, spinning her round and round for several seconds. Her smile melts my heart, and just being with her is like a warm glow on a cold winter day. I kiss her. Then I say, "Mom, Dad, I choose Yara, the love of my life, if she will have me." "Of course I will," Yara says. We kiss again, and the music starts playing. The dance has started. The wedding will be magnificent. The end. This has been The Prince and the Poor Girl, Royalty Amongst the Commoners, Kids' Adventure Stories, written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Production copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Teen Vampire Romance, a funny vampire diary, adventure stories for kids. Written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. Lennox, the vampire, is looking for a partner. He knows everything he needs to know about the female vampires in his group, and he doesn't want them. When Nikolai, a good vampire friend, introduces him to a plan to spy on the villagers, the humans, Lennox is super excited. He observes the humans, plays along with them, and makes sure his disguise is safe enough not to be noticed. But when he meets Cindy, a village girl, his world is slowly turned upside down, and he needs to make some important decisions. Entry 1. Weird Me. This is the beginning of my diary. I don't know where to start. Well, at least I can tell you this. I am a little weird. I am weird in the sense that I am a vampire. I guess that's okay because there are lots of vampires, but I am also weird in the sense that I don't conform. I don't adjust to everyone else's rules. I just choose my own way. Are you like that too, reader of my diary? Anyway, as you may expect, this whole thing started out precisely because I am weird like that. Here are some things that are weird about me. I don't just drink any blood. I am picky, unlike other vampires. I love loud noises. The other vampires are a bunch of stiffs in my eyes. I am open-minded to new things. Many vampires here stick to the traditions. I am young and full of energy, and I don't even hate the light that much. Other vampires despise the light. It's funny, actually. Occasionally, I go jogging. Do you know of any vampires that go jogging? I know I don't. Not besides me. I have a thing with elbows. I don't know why, I just like them. Ha! It's an awkward obsession I usually don't tell others about. And my name is Lennox. I am a 121-year-old male vampire who is looking for a female, but I can't find the right one. Have you ever had that problem? I am sure that a lot of people come to an age when they are looking for a mate, but they have a hard time finding one. You see, there were definitely some female vampires in our little group, but I found something wrong with all of them. Oh, did I mention that I like to create lists? It's my thing. I just do. So here is a list with everything I found wrong with the female vampires I knew. By the way, that's not to say that I am full of myself. I'm not arrogant, I know my flaws, and I have my quirks, like making lists. But when I want that partner for life, I am looking for something a little more special, someone who impresses me. Anyway, here's the list, as promised. Lilith was too fat. Sorry, you may call me superficial, but she is triple my weight, and since I weigh 180 pounds or about 80 kilos, you can probably do the math and figure out how much she weighs. I can't even imagine me lifting her up when she wants a piggyback ride. Yeesh, that would break my back. No, that won't work. Scratch her. Sorry, Lilith, you're not my type. Then there's Helena. She is pretty, but speaking of superficial, you thought that I was superficial? She has rejected at least 50 vampires who tried to court her. She looks into the mirror all day, puts a lot of makeup on, mostly purple and black, and doesn't hold back on her insults to anyone she deems uglier than herself. No thanks. She would just order me around all day. Pythia is another female vampire in our little circle. Everyone thought she was mentally sane until she threw the biggest tantrum and showed everyone her true colors. She has learned from her parents that as long as she behaves and keeps calm, she can get whatever she wants. That's right, she is spoiled. But she didn't show it until she didn't get a particular drink at the annual vampire celebration, where she threw the tables over, knocked over some chairs, and broke 3 mirrors, raging like a lioness. I could already picture myself being married to her. One mistake and she'd kill me. So that basically made her ineligible. Next! Mahira was the next female vampire on my list. I went to talk to her at a banquet one time. There were blood drinks and a lot of fun activities. When I sat down with her, she came closer and confessed that she already had 20 children with 9 ex-husbands. I know I shouldn't judge someone for their exes, but when I heard that, I began to wonder about some issues she might have, especially as we kept talking. Not what I was looking for. I wish her the best, though. One day I met Thalia, an interesting, mysterious girl who seemed to show some interest in me as well. We clicked, we dated, and we talked a lot. Then one of my friends warned me about her. Apparently, she had murdered her parents and drunk their blood just because she wanted to know what it would taste like. Was I going to be next in line to be murdered? When I asked her about it, she denied it, but I could totally tell she was hiding something. I decided it was not worth the risk, so I moved on. Quintella was one of those nerdy, geeky vampires who laughed a lot about her own jokes, talked about random things without telling us where her brain picked up a vibe, and had no social skills whatsoever. Well, like I said, I am a little weird myself, but she was pushing it. Her craziness level was way above mine, and I wasn't really attracted to her anyway. Am I being too picky? I don't think so. If I'm going to be with someone, she better be the right one, not second pick. And last but not least, there is Ivy. Big turnoff. She is more like poison ivy, really. She sneers at random people, complains about life a lot, and told me about everything that was wrong with society, politics, religion, and the economy, according to her own beliefs, which were rather strange. I concluded that she probably didn't have an easy life, and that this was the reason that she was so negative. I feel sorry for her, but that doesn't mean I should start a relationship with her. Hopefully she'll find the right one someday. But I decided, let someone else put up with all that pessimism. So that was that. There you have it. I went through the list of all the female vampires I know. Little did I know that one day I would think completely out of the box and choose someone who was way different. That day was coming. I will tell you about that in my next entry. Entry 2. Weird Beings. Today I went to a different location than I usually do. We don't often visit human towns. A lot of blood we drink as vampires comes from animals. There are hunters in our group who provide meals and drinks after hunting for game. But humans? Seldom. This time, however, I just ran around and hid in the shadows. It was still early in the morning, and since it was winter, it was still dark outside. It was a little cold, but I didn't mind. When I saw lights in the distance, it made me curious. I ran over there, and when I came closer, I saw a village. A human village, I mumbled. I slowly approached the village and climbed on one of the highest rooftops, that of the church tower. It was easy to see the entire village from there. The sun came up. I hid behind the other side of the tower to stay in the shade. I watched as bakers went to the other side of town to get some grain and flour, saw children play in the streets, and mothers sweeping the dust away in front of their homes. Some men were talking loudly, and some vendors were selling their fruits and vegetables. It was a crowded place, and it was interesting to see. I couldn't stop watching them because I was completely unfamiliar with their habits. "Quite the spectacle, isn't it?" I heard a voice say behind me. I turned around. "Nikolai, what are you doing here?" I asked. Nikolai was an older vampire. He had been one of our leaders since I can remember, so for more than 100 years. He came closer and repeated the same message. "These humans are quite spectacular to watch, aren't they?" he said. "Yes, they are. What do you suppose that guy is doing?" I pointed at someone with a bag on his back. "I have no idea," Nikolai admitted. "We don't know much about these humans. They are strangers. We hardly come near them. I know for a fact that is a baker, and that the man on the other side of the street is a fruit vendor, but that's about it. They are a mystery to me." "Are you telling me that at your age you still know only a little about these humans?" "Hey, I've done other important things in my life," Nikolai said. "Like drinking the blood of animals, learning how to become even creepier in the dark, and socializing with the other vampires. I am married and have children, so I just never did any research on these humans." "It would be so cool to learn more about them," I said. "I mean, just look at what he is doing over there." I pointed to a blacksmith, who was banging his hammer on a piece of steel. I had no clue why he was doing that, but I was intrigued. Nikolai looked at me with a smile. I knew that he was coming up with ideas in his head. "You really think that would be something, huh? To learn more about them?" "Of course. Maybe I'll come here more often and just observe them. It's funny that they do things so differently. It's like another species." "They are a different species," Nikolai said, "and we could use more knowledge about them. Definitely. Come with me. I have a plan." Just as I had expected, Nikolai was creating a plan in his mind. Entry 3. Weird Plan. The sun was rising even higher into the sky. We were losing the shade in which we were hiding. "Let's get out of here, Lennox," Nikolai said. "We are going to a meeting. I already called some of the elders together. They should be in the meeting room in a half hour." "Okay," I said. I really wanted to know what his plan was. When we arrived in the meeting room, he laid out his plan. "We must know more about these humans," Nikolai began. "They don't live far away from us. We have just chosen to stay away from them. But if they were ever to come near us, I want to know what we are dealing with. How do you feel about that?" The elders in the meeting room nodded. I don't think they all understood where he was going with this. Some of the elders were a little deaf, and others had just lost their marbles a long time ago. One of them was picking his nose while Nikolai said it, and another one wasn't really nodding, but more so shaking because of his old age. They didn't seem like a clever bunch, actually, but the vampire theory and tradition was that the elders were the wisest, most intelligent vampires of us all. I doubted it, but oh well, that's just me. "Well, does that sound like a good idea?" Nikolai asked again. "Okay with me," one of the old vampires said. "Yep, no problem," another one uttered. "How about you?" Nikolai asked an old vampire who was staring into the distance. "I remember when I was a little boy and we played Kill the Chickens. Those were the days. That's when the grass was greener, the sky was blue, and everything was just better. Things have gone downhill since then, mark my words. I think that those youngsters should listen to their parents and grandparents more often. Did I ever tell you about the time when I—" But Nikolai interrupted him. "Thank you, I understand that you agree with me. Is anyone against this plan?" Nobody raised their hand. "Then I propose that Lennox goes to the village for a few days and pretends to be one of the humans." I was startled. "What? Me?" I asked. "But why me?" "You were intrigued in the first place. Why not you? Do you think someone else would be better for the job?" No. I guess I'll do it." "Great. Let's do it then. You'll start today." "But how am I going to disguise my identity as a vampire? And what will I tell them? They will know that I am new." "Oh, I've thought of all of those things already," Nikolai said. "Don't worry. You're going to wear these teeth. They will cover up your fangs." He handed me the fake teeth. I received them and looked at them. Then I tried them by putting them into my mouth. Hey, they fit nicely. Not so bad. I can even eat regular food and stuff with these teeth, I think. "Good, you won't stand out. Besides, all you have to do is tell them that you're from a distant village and that you've come to explore this area of the world. Then they will trust you, I am pretty sure of it." "Wow, thanks, Nikolai. When do I start?" "Today. Why wait? Go already, and report to me regularly." And that was the beginning of my little adventure. I was going to be a spy amongst the humans. It would be awesome. I just knew it. Entry 4. Weird Habits. I loved my assignment. Discovering what the humans were like had always been a dream of mine. I had just never taken the initiative. Strange for someone who is 121 years old. But hey, that's how vampires think. They go through all kinds of routines and don't always stop and reflect on what they're doing. When I entered the village, I put my fake teeth into my mouth and thought that I wouldn't stand out. I was wrong. Many people stared at me. Did they know I was a vampire? How did they know? Then a little girl without a filter came up to me and said, "Hey, mister, you have funny clothes." I looked at my clothes. I looked at the villager's clothes. She was right. I was different. Well, I dressed differently. I needed to do something about it. With lightning speed, I dove through an open window in one of the homes and ran upstairs. The people were home, but I was so fast that they didn't even notice me. That's another thing about vampires. They are incredibly fast. Upstairs, I searched through some closets and found what looked like a regular male attire. It was brown and green and looked a lot like something the other villagers were wearing. I took off my clothes, chucked them into a trash bin outside, and put the man's clothes on. "There we go," I said when I looked in the mirror. "Now I look like a villager." I ran back downstairs and jumped outside through the same window. After that, I headed to the town square. I loved it. It was a loud, noisy mess of people selling items, food, and foot traffic going everywhere. Half of the village was probably there, since they didn't have much else to do. I just stood there, dumbfounded and excited at the same time. I saw dogs running after cats, children who played tag, and mothers gossiping about the latest news. I saw people buying fruits, meats, and spices. Suddenly, someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around. Wow! It was as if heavenly music was accompanying the glow around her face from the sun. Never before in my entire life had I seen a girl with such beautiful elbows. She was wearing a green tank top and a brown skirt, and her brown hair waved in the wind as if she did it on purpose to seduce me. "Yes," I said. "Are you new?" she asked. "I am. My name is Lennox." "What an unusual name," she said. "My name is Cindy." "Good to meet you, Cindy," I said. "How old are you?" "I am 21. How about you?" I was going to say 121, but then I realized that 21 in human years was about the same as 121 in vampire years. So I told her that I was the same age. She smiled. I stared at her elbows for a second or two. Such beautiful curves and pointy bones in there. The angle was perfect. I had seen many elbows in my life, but these ones topped them all. Beautiful. Beautiful. Huh? Was she talking to me? Oh, why didn't I pay attention? I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please? I asked. Do you have a place to stay? She asked me. No, not yet. Perhaps you'd like to stay with us. That sounded like a remarkable offer, and I accepted it. I didn't know these humans could be so good looking. Sure, her blue eyes were pretty and her face was cute, but those elbows. I couldn't get over it. So yes, here I go with my lists again. What I loved about her. She was nice, very friendly. She had beautiful eyes. Her brown hair waved in the wind. Her body proportions were attractive. She had a cute face. She was the same age. Oh, and last but not least, those elbows were irresistible. Do you think I'm weird? I told you I was. I followed her to her home, and she introduced me to her parents' place. This is the living room. That's my parents' bedroom, and this is my bedroom, she said. You can sleep in the basement. We have a spare bed there. The kitchen is over there, and the bathroom is on the main floor on the other side. So you still live with your parents? I asked. Of course. I wouldn't want to move out until I am married. What would be the point of that? That makes sense. Oh, there they are. Mom, Dad, I'd like you to meet Lennox. Nice to meet you, they said, and they extended their hands. I was looking at their right hands extended towards me, but I didn't know what it meant. Was I supposed to kiss them, punch them, extend my hand too, or something else? Were they giving something to me? I didn't see anything in their hands, so I didn't understand what was going on. I grabbed the father's hand and searched it thoroughly. No, there was nothing in it. Cindy giggled. What are you doing? What am I doing? I asked. What are they doing? Why are they putting their hands forward like that? It's so you can shake their hands, silly, she said. You really aren't from around here, are you? No, from a faraway country. That's what I told you, didn't I? How fun, Cindy's mother said. Which country? From, faraway land, I mumbled, hoping that it existed. Faraway land? I go on business trips there, the dad said. Where are you staying now? Actually, Cindy began, I was wondering if he could stay here. Well, are you okay with this, honey? The mother asked, leaning towards Cindy's father. After all, we don't know him. He seems well-mannered and harmless, her dad said. Let's give him a chance. I don't see why not. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, Cindy said, and she gave them a kiss on their cheeks. This, too, was new to me, and I wanted to know what it meant. Cindy's mother went to the kitchen and informed her husband and daughter that dinner would be ready in a few minutes. Cindy led me to the bathroom. Let's wash our hands, she said. Why? I asked. Why? Because of bacteria, of course. We always wash our hands before dinner. Don't you do the same in faraway land? Oh, yes, of course. We went to the bathroom and took turns washing hands, and then I couldn't help it. I saw something I had never seen before. It was long and had some kind of brush at the end. Strange creatures, these humans. What is that? I asked Cindy. What? That? Oh, that's a toothbrush. Don't you know what a toothbrush is? I had to admit that I didn't know. It's to keep your teeth clean. It surprises me that you don't know this, seeing that your teeth are so clean. My real teeth were pretty clean, so I didn't see the need for toothbrushes or teeth brush or whatever they're called in plural. But the funny thing was that she was commenting on my fake teeth, which were the only ones she saw. After the awkward moments in the bathroom, we sat down at the dinner table, and that was when the real experience began. Well, sort of. Entry 5. Weird Food. As I looked at my plate, I wasn't too sure of what to think of the dish they gave me. It smelled funny, and it had a greenish color. The scent was that of sweetness, mixed with something that went right through my nostrils. What is this? I asked. It's a curry dish with coconut and rice, the mother said. I've never heard of it, I said. Trust me, you'll like it, Cindy said. It's foreign, but it's one of my favorites." I put my spoon into the soupy dish, and the three of them watched in anticipation, hoping that I would approve. I put the spoon into my mouth and felt a rush through my brain. It was as if steam was coming out of my ears, and as if my mouth was on fire. "What did you say it was called?" I asked, while flapping my hand near my mouth. "Curry in coconut milk and rice," Cindy said. "Oh, and there are some vegetables and chicken in there as well." "Wow," I said. "Wow, that's a spicy dish. Unbelievable." "Do you like it?" Cindy's mother asked. "What do you think?" The three of them stared at me with big eyes. "Yes," I finally said with a smile. "I think I do. Powerful stuff. What else do you have?" They laughed. "That is the main dish," Cindy said. "But if you want something else, you can have a drink too. We have fresh apple juice." "Apple juice?" I asked. "Really? I've never tried—" And then I stopped myself. I hadn't tried apple juice before, but I wanted to let them know that I was experienced in the ways of the humans, so I finished my sentence with, "It fresh." "Well, you're about to taste something yummy," Cindy said. She went to the kitchen and poured me a glass of fresh apple juice. "We have an orchard with lots of apples. Here, try it." I took a sip from the glass. Apple juice. What an invention. I loved it. This must have come straight from heaven. I even liked it better than blood. Wait, did that mean I wasn't a real vampire? Never mind that. I took another sip, and another, and just kept drinking until I emptied the whole glass. "I can give you more if you want," Cindy said. "Yes, please." I drank a lot more apple juice that evening. When I went to bed, there wasn't anything special. Cindy flirted with me a little, and I noticed how soft the sheets and the covers were. I didn't know what the pillow was for. It was awkward for my head, so I just put it on the floor. I slept well that night. Entry 6. Weird Fights. The next day we went to the bakery. It was early in the morning. I was surprised again by the loaves of bread and the many pastries that were presented in the bakery. I admitted to Cindy that I hadn't tried any of these things before, which was a good idea because for that reason she bought some things for me to taste. We left the bakery and we opened up a small bag with a little pie in it. "That's the best one," she said, "the one with pineapple in it." But before I could take a bite, the pie was ripped out of my hand. I looked up. There was a giant dude standing next to me. He had some facial hair and big muscles, and a sloppy shirt with dirt on it. "Is this your new boyfriend, Cindy?" he asked. "What's it to you?" she asked. "Well, if this pathetic wimp is bothering you, then I'm here to do something about it." "He's not pathetic. His name is Lennox, and he is a gentleman, unlike you, Bartho. Now give me back my pie. We bought it with our own money." "First, let me have a bite," Bartho said, as he was about to shove it into his mouth. "Give us back the pie," I said. Bartho stopped and looked at me. "What did you say?" "I don't want any trouble," I said. "Just give us the pie back." "Ha ha ha! What are you going to do about it, wimp? I am twice as big. Do you think you can take me?" "Watch out, Lennox," Cindy whispered in my ear. "Bartho is an expert fighter. I don't like him, but it's not worth it seeing you get beat up." "I got it," I said. "Let me handle this." "Why don't you just get out of the way, wimp?" Bartho said, and he tried to push me over. But he missed, and he almost fell forward. "Hey, where did he go?" he said. I was standing behind him. "Over here," I said. "Come and get me, ugly face." "You'll pay for that insult," Bartho said as he stormed at me. Missed again. I was standing behind him again, this time on the other side. "Huh? How did you get over there?" he asked. "Come back here." He swung his arm at me. I quickly ran around him and pushed him over. He fell with his face into the sand. "Ouch," he said. He didn't try again. "You freak," he said. "I'll find you sometime." Then he left. Cindy came at me. "Lennox, that was amazing. How did you become so fast?" "Well, I just run a lot," I said. Bartho didn't stand a chance. That was incredible. She put her arms around me, and I loved it. Later, I would find out that this was called a hug. But whatever it was called, at that moment, I didn't care. It made me feel fuzzy inside. Entry 7. Weird Celebrations. A day later, there was a celebration in town. It was the annual Town's Day, and there were games, there was music, and everyone had come to the great square. People were dancing, eating, and chatting. There were even some acrobats who did tricks, and narrators who entertained some of the crowd. I was blown away by all the things people did and organized. It was a little strange to me, but I still liked it. "Why is that guy eating and spitting fire?" I asked Cindy as we were walking through the whole happening at the square. "Oh, that's just a trick. Do you see the hat on the ground over there?" "Yes." "That's where the people throw money if they like his trick." "But why would he do something dangerous to make money?" I insisted to know. "It's a trick. People think it's impressive." I guess it is. I wouldn't do that, that's for sure. She grabbed my arm and put her cheek against it. This way, we stopped every once in a while to see what people were doing. I felt in love. This girl was so sweet. I was in love with a human. Ah! Was that allowed? Was that possible? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that there was nothing wrong with it at all. As a vampire, I had certain abilities and traits, and as a human, she did too. It was too good to be true. Was this really the soulmate I had been looking for all that time? As I contemplated our future, I suddenly felt a push in my back. It was so hard that I fell on the street. While rubbing the sand out of my eyes, I heard Cindy yell, "Bartho, that's enough! Get out of here already!" I turned around and looked up at him, but then everyone stared at me. Dozens of eyes were facing my way, including Cindy's and Bartho's eyes. They were looking at me as if I were crazy. "What?" I asked. And then I knew it. My teeth had fallen out. When I fell down, they were smashed to the side, and they were now lying on the pavement. My cover had been blown. "Lennox?" she asked. "What is wrong? What's going on?" I didn't know what to say, and I was afraid that people would judge me if I tried to explain that I was a vampire, so I fled. I ran away faster than anyone could imagine. The party was over. Entry 8. Weird Emotions. I was sitting on a rooftop. The muffled sounds of the celebration were still audible in the distance. I reflected on the mistake I had made. I didn't see that jerk coming. Bartho had caught me by surprise. But the worst part wasn't that he had pushed me over. The worst part was that Cindy now knew that I wasn't human. I was a vampire, and perhaps she wouldn't want me anymore. I feared being rejected, and I was fine on that rooftop. I saw her. She was walking through the streets. She was by herself, so apparently she had convinced Bartho to leave her alone. Now she was calling my name and looking for me. "Lennox!" she yelled, but I didn't respond. "Did someone just call your name?" I heard someone say behind me. I turned around and looked into the eyes of Nikolai. "You have to stop doing that," I said. "Do what?" "Sneaking up behind me." "Sorry, I just came to visit, since you promised me you would report every so often, but you haven't told us anything yet. How are these humans?" "They're great," I said. "We should get to know them better. I don't know how they will welcome us, but if we do it slowly, they might warm up to us. They are quite inventive." "That's what I wondered," he said as he sat down next to me. "What kinds of things were impressive about them?" "Oh, well, to start off, their food. Have you ever tried curry?" "Tried what?" "Curry. It's spicy, and if you mix it with some sweetness and coconut milk, it tastes delicious." "Sounds interesting. Sure, I'll try it sometime. What else?" "They have apple juice. It's better than blood." "Better than blood? Impossible. I think you're becoming a little too much like these humans, Lennox." "So what if I am?
Hey, I didn't say it was a bad thing. Do you feel at home here?
Yes, I do.
And is that girl in love with you? Nikolai asked.
Huh? How do you know that? I didn't even tell you anything about her.
Come on. A girl who is the same age is chasing you through the streets? There is no other motive for something like that than love.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way. I guess you're right, I admitted.
Then what are you waiting for?
Well, she is a human and I am a vampire. Isn't that a problem? He sighed and rolled his eyes. He obviously thought I was stupid. Then he beckoned me to come closer and whispered,
Don't tell anyone this, but my wife is human as well.
What? I looked at him with big eyes. Then how did she...
Don't worry about all the dumb questions popping into your head, he said. Just know that I have known a lot about these humans for a while. I sent you here for 2 reasons. First, so you could convince the others that they are harmless. Some vampires are still afraid of them, and they don't believe me. And second, I knew there weren't any interesting ladies amongst the vampires, so I gave you the opportunity to look for one here. So tell me, honestly, how is she?
Who, Cindy? I asked.
Is that her name? Yes, Cindy.
My eyes became dreamy and I leaned backwards. She has amazing elbows, I said. Beautiful. He laughed and stood up.
You're a little weird, Lennox. Good luck with your lady friend. Please come back in a few days and report what you have seen. Hopefully by then the others will be more open-minded.
Nikolai left, and even though I was nervous to face my problems, I ran down and followed Cindy. Suddenly I stood in front of her.
Ah, there you are, she said. Why did you run away?
I didn't want you to know that I am a vampire, I said. I thought you would hate me for it.
Things make a lot more sense now, she said. The fact that you were so oblivious or ignorant, and the speed at which you run. Hey, can you give me a piggyback ride?
Sure, I said. Where do you want to go?
To the top of the mountain, that way. Then we can enjoy the view.
She hopped on and I ran to the top of the mountain within minutes, something that would have taken a human being at least an hour.
Wow, she said. This is fantastic. I have a confession too, Lennox, something I have been hiding for a little while now.
I am all yours, I said.
I love you, she said. I have loved you since the day I met you. I knew there was something about you.
Yes, that I am a vampire.
No, not that, she said. Something about your character, your heart, your good nature. Something I couldn't resist. I love you.
I love you too, I said. She leaned forward and gave me a kiss, but not on the cheek, on the mouth. I liked it. I loved it. I loved her. I can get into this kissing thing, I thought. Such strange beings, those humans. The end. Introduction. Regina has suddenly become queen, and she is not sure what to do with her new position. At the same time, Prince Alfred asks her to come and marry him, something she isn't sure about either. When she finally gives in and goes on a journey to meet him, accompanied by her annoying sister, she finds something else in life that brings her happiness. Listen to this story about this short and entertaining queen, who was open for change and made her own decisions. Chapter 1. The Wedding. My name is Regina. That's right, my name even means queen, and I love it because I am a queen. But something went wrong when the crown was passed on. My parents, bless their hearts, only had 5 daughters, no sons. That was not their fault, and they were, rest their souls, always good to us, but it was just something they hadn't expected. The tradition was to pass on the crown to the oldest son, but since there was no son, and since I was the eldest daughter, I was made queen when they died. So here I was on the throne with a lovely crown, but no king. It was fine in a way, because I ruled the country in a just manner, together with my younger sisters, who served as advisors and carried out several tasks each day. Now, you may get the impression as you read this that I was fairly old. Yes, I was the oldest sister, and perhaps the word queen makes you visualize some old wrinkly lady, but actually, I was only 25 years old. That's pretty young for taking over the responsibilities of ruling the country. Fortunately, with the help of my sisters, I was doing well. But no king. I mean, of course I didn't need a man. I was relatively happy. And hey, I had a life. But all those things didn't mean I wasn't secretly longing for a guy who would sweep me off my feet. Then one day, my youngest sister, Princess Alyssa, came to me and said, "Did you hear about the prince in Farsten?" "I've heard of him. Princess Meredith always mentions him. What about him?" "Well, I know. She has a huge crush on that guy ever since he visited us years ago." "Yes, I've noticed that too. So what's the news?" "He is considering your hand in marriage," she said. "He wants you. Can you imagine how jealous your sister Meredith will be?" "Ha ha, yes, she would be," I said. "But I wouldn't marry him just to make her jealous. That would be mean, and that's not who I am." I know. But honestly, tell me, what do you think about him?" "Well, he is nice. I guess I could love him." "Really?" she asked. "That's so awesome. But wait, you hesitated. Do you hate anything about him?" "I just don't know him very well, that's all. But I can get to know him." "That's the spirit!" my younger sister shouted. "But won't Meredith hate me?" I asked. "No, she will be okay with it. She knows that you get the first pick because you are the queen." "True. Okay, I can talk to him when he comes," I said. "Oh, that's just the problem," Alyssa said. "He said he can't come. He wants you to come to him." Ugh, I sighed. "He doesn't have a strong commitment already." "Come on, Regina, just give him a chance. It's the least you can do." "Fine. I'll go over there and get to know him. And if I happen to like him, I'll say yes to his proposal." "Sounds like a plan. I will help you make the arrangements for the trip." After those words, we got ready, and I was on my way to Farsten, accompanied by servants and Meredith, who accidentally found out about it and took the opportunity to see the prince one last time being single before I would marry him. Chapter 2. Travel. I put on a short skirt and a comfy top. I didn't want to travel around in a dress. What if something happened? The first landscape we traveled through was covered in grass. Hills as far as the eye could see were covering the surface. It was pretty, but after a few minutes we were used to it and didn't bother looking outside the carriage anymore. Our carriage was wonderful. The bars were decorated with gold and silver, and the satin cushions were a delight for our royal butts. Yes, you heard that correctly. When you are going on a long journey like this, you don't want to have blisters on your backside because you're sitting on some hard wooden bench. Up to that point, sometime after an hour or so, I still thought it was a good thing to bring my sister, since she would have the opportunity to see Prince Alfred, the prince in Farsten she was always dreaming about. But after spending a few hours with her, I recognized what I had forgotten, what she was really like. It all started with her remark, "I am too hot. I am boiling in here. It's insane. Can't we open a window in here?" "It is quite hot," I admitted, "especially since the both of us are sitting in such a small space. Sure, let's open a window." We opened the window, and guess what? It was too cold. She kept complaining about how it was freezing and that the polar bears would soon show up to eat us. "You really know how to exaggerate, don't you?" I said rhetorically. "But I'm cold. I'm so cold," she went on to say. Okay, we'll close them again." I was getting fed up with the tantrums of a 22-year-old young woman, and I constantly wondered how she became this way. Did she get pampered by the servants in the palace behind my back? Oh well. It was crazy, and I was so done with it. But it wasn't over. We hit a bump. "Ouch!" she exclaimed. Hey, what's up with the bad driving?
Sorry, miss, the coachman said. There was a bump in the road.
Yes, I noticed, Meredith said. Watch where you're going. Ugh, I'm so hungry. Don't we have anything to eat? No, we should be there in a few hours. I didn't bring anything, I said. Why? I am hungry, she complained. I know, I understand, but I can't do anything about it. Ugh, she moaned. Why was I stuck with this spoiled brat? Why couldn't she just wait? I guessed I hadn't spent enough time with my sister to see how she turned out to be. I mean, I loved her and stuff, but it was still hard to put up with her attitude. Her complaining about food went on for about a half hour, and then she switched to another bodily need that apparently hadn't been fulfilled. I have to go, she finally said. To the... I get it, I said, realizing that there was no bathroom around. We can stop the carriage. But we're in the hills. Everyone will see me, she said. What do you mean with everyone? There's nobody here. Well, what about the guards and servant and the coachman? I sighed. I even had to admit that she was right. It would be kind of awkward to go here. I looked out the window, trying to think of a solution. I looked to the left and to the right. Aha, I thought. I stuck my head back inside and said, There is a forest a few minutes away from here. We will stop the carriage there, then you can go behind a tree. How does that sound? Sure, but I need toilet paper. I stuck my head outside and asked, Coachman, do we have any royal toilet paper?
Yes, my queen, we do. It's in the back.
I searched for a minute or two and found silky smooth toilet paper for my sister to use. I handed it to her and she snatched it away. After several minutes, we reached the forest. I ordered the coachman to stop, and the servants and guards on the horses around us stopped as well. I am so tired, Meredith said. I will be happy when this ride is over. I am exhausted. I didn't sleep well last night, and it will be awful if Prince Alfred sees the bags underneath my eyes. I didn't comment on that. I just endured her complaints. Meredith jumped out and looked in the side mirror in the carriage. Oh no, she cried. I thought, now what? Look at my hair. It's a mess. I am so ugly. It's okay, I assured her. You're not ugly. The wind just messed it up a little in the back. You don't look bad at all. Don't worry about it. But I'm ugly. Ugly, she kept saying. She pulled on her hair and gnashed her teeth, grinding them and growling at the same time. It was an immature performance, and that's an understatement. After her little tantrum about her looks, she pulled up her dress a little and walked away from the road. We all waited. Some of the servants looked at me with sympathy, relieved that they didn't have to deal with her behavior too. I shrugged, letting them know that I was okay with it for now. But then we heard a scream. Ah! I hurried to the place where she was, jumping over tree trunks and ducking underneath branches on my way. When I arrived, I saw it. Chapter 3. Cows. I chuckled. It wasn't anything to scream about. It was pretty funny, actually. I saw the cows who were responsible for her misery. They were standing in the forest, looking innocently and with big eyes, staring at another tantrum by my sister. It's poo, she exclaimed. I stepped in cow poo. This is all your fault, Regina. You said I should go into the forest, and now that I did, look what happened. Oh, come on, I said. You could have paid better attention to where you stepped. But you told me to go out here and look at it. It's full of cows and cow droppings. It's like a minefield. Again, I said, you are responsible for where you walk. Now, please excuse me. I am going back to the carriage. It isn't even very far anymore. You could have just held it in. I was back at the carriage. We all waited and waited. It took a while before she came back. She still had a disgusted face, and her shoes didn't smell good. But there was nothing else to say about it. It had happened, and that was it. One last time, I looked at the cute cows which had come closer and were observing the entire royal company with a dumb look on their faces. Cows are funny, I thought, but I didn't say it out loud. My sister was furious, though. The coachman got ready, and the carriage, with the servants around it on their horses, took off. It wouldn't be too much longer until we would reach Prince Alfred's palace. Or would it? Chapter 5. Danger. I thought for a moment, and then I had it. I knew exactly what to do. I would defend myself. That's right. If I was going to die, I would at least take a few of them with me to the afterlife. Or, well, I don't know how that works with skeletons. Aren't they already dead anyway? Whatever. I picked up a stick. It was a big stick, so perhaps it would scare them off. I think it was even bigger than the swords they were carrying. "Come and get me," I said in a brave voice. "I am not afraid of you." Suddenly, the skeletons in front of me stepped back. There was so much noise from the skeletons and guards in the distance that I couldn't hear much, and there was sand in my ears from the fall, so with my deafness, I could still perceive their fear when I picked up the stick. "Ha! Not so tough anymore, are you? You got it, pals. This is queen power. When I have a stick, you better watch out." They stepped back even further, so apparently they were intimidated by my attitude and newfound confidence. I stepped forward again, making my scariest face. They ran away. Cowards. I knew I had it in me. I scared those skeletons so badly that they started running. With a smile on my face, I put the stick down. "And stay gone!" I yelled. Then I felt someone tap me on the shoulder. It startled me. I turned around and looked into the most handsome eyes I had ever seen. Wow, I thought. A mixture of emotions entered my mind. First of all, this guy was my age and incredibly attractive. But the second thought came when I saw him holding a sword as he was standing on dozens of bones and skulls on the ground. "Oh," I said, a little disappointed that the skeletons probably ran away because they were afraid of him after slaughtering their fellow skeletons. I looked straight into his eyes. "Hi," he said. "My name is Roderick. What's yours?" "I am Regina," I said. It crossed my mind to tell him that I was the queen, but I wanted him to like me for who I was, not what position I held. So I just didn't mention it. It didn't ring a bell. He hadn't heard of the queen. "I have lived in the woods for some time," he said. "I am not familiar with the affairs of the kingdom, and so I have no idea why you were in that carriage and to which location. But I can tell you this. I have never seen a more beautiful pair of eyes than yours." I blushed a little when he got on one knee and kissed my hand. Then he looked to the side. "More skeletons," he said. "Let's hide. It's not safe here." I didn't know why he didn't think it was safe, since he had just beaten all those skeletons up without any problems. Either way, I felt safe with him. It was amazing. Now, you may be a little skeptical about me being head over heels about some guy I just met in the forest, but I was cautious enough. Don't worry. I will show you later that I didn't just jump into a relationship blindly. Anyway, he pressed me down, so we ended up laying down on our stomachs next to each other in the bushes, waiting for the skeletons to disappear. They didn't. Instead, they were looking around for us. I was a little surprised that they were still attempting to find us after what happened to the other ones. I held my breath, trying to not make any noise. One came really close, and then it saw us. It cut down some of the bushes above us and revealed our hiding spot. "Whoops," Roderick said. "I didn't expect that." I got a little scared, feeling vulnerable and exposed. But Roderick had my back. He was determined to protect me. "Stay here," he said. I will take care of this." I watched as he squinted his eyes and attacked the dozens of skeletons around him. Slash, stab, ka-ting! He crossed blades with them and defeated the whole army within minutes. One by one they fell by his attacks. I felt amazed. I immediately had a crush on this strong, skilled fighter. But when he was done killing all the skeletons, I couldn't help but notice another one still hiding in the bushes behind him. "Watch out!" I said, as the skeleton ran towards him and tried to stab him in the back. Instinctively, I ran forward and picked up a stick in the process. Bang! I hit the skeleton on the head, which fell down. It was unconscious. "Ha! Don't mess with my Roderick," I said. "Oops, I hoped he didn't hear that." "What did you say?" he asked. I said, "Don't mess with Roderick." "Oh, okay." Phew, that was close. But I still wanted to know more about him. He was charming and handsome, so this was my chance. I didn't care that he wasn't a prince. I didn't care that Prince Alfred was waiting for me. I would still get to know the prince, no problem, but I wanted to know more about this Roderick guy as well. "Thanks for saving my life," he said. "Thanks for saving mine," I said. "So tell me something about yourself." "Well, I have lived in the woods all my life. My parents died when I was young. I scavenge and hunt for a living, and I protect the occasional traveler from the skeletons. They are everywhere, so I try to ensure the passenger's safety." "That's so noble," I said. "And have you ever thought about settling down and getting married?" "I hope to be married someday, but I just haven't yet. It's not much more complicated than that. I love children, so hopefully I will have those too someday." This guy had everything. He was humble, courageous, friendly, selfless, good-looking. Did I mention strong? Yes, he was strong too. Very strong. Okay, he wasn't rich, but I was, so who cares? We talked and got to know each other. I still kept my royal heritage hidden as well as I could, and he guided me towards the palace. Chapter 6. Made It. We arrived at the palace in Farstan. It was a beautiful palace with columns, statues, and a flowing fountain in the front yard. Guards and servants were walking around, and the flowers were blooming in the side garden. When we approached the front gate, one of the servants welcomed me. He said the prince had been waiting for me. "Queen Regina," he began. "Wait," Roderick said. "You're the queen, and you never told me?" The thing about that is..." And then, without saying another word, I grabbed him and dragged him inside, making hand signals to the servant that he was with me. Once inside, I took Roderick aside and said, "Look, I like you. I like you a lot. I am grateful for what you did, but you must understand that I am just myself, regardless of my royal status. I want you to see me as Regina, a young woman you rescued from the skeletons. Not this old person who has had decades of experience ruling the country. That's just not me." "Okay, but why didn't you tell me?" he asked. "I am supposed to marry Prince Alfred, but then when I met you, I got confused and I didn't know anymore. Could you please just come along and sit out this session of boring talking and awkward greeting?" "I guess," he said. "Is there any food?" "You're a funny one, Roderick. Yes, there is plenty of food. I'll ask the prince to arrange a good meal for you." That Roderick. Typical guy. Happy stomach, happy man. I was glad he was willing to cooperate and meet my sister and the prince. Eventually, we entered the throne room. The prince was sitting on his chair, comfortable and lazy. My sister was constantly flirting with him, which he kind of liked but wasn't too sure about. I came in, followed by Roderick, my hero. We greeted the prince. I gave my sister a hug and sat down at the dinner table. "Well, that was quite the adventure," Meredith said while eating her peas. "Yes, I almost died," I said. "But Roderick saved me. He fought the skeletons. Did you know there were a lot of skeletons in the forest?" "Oh, I heard of it," Prince Alfred said. Those annoying creatures. I am glad you are okay." Then he turned to the servant next to him and said, "Servant, how many times did I tell you to cook the chicken with cranberries, not raspberries? Go back and start over." The servant ran back to the kitchen. I raised my eyebrows. "Do you always talk to the servants that way?" "I'm sorry. I just get so... it's so hot in here. That's why I can't stand it. No, I respect them, but I get a little grouchy sometimes when the temperature isn't right. Servant, can you fix the temperature by opening up a few windows?"
"Yes, sire."
"Oh dear, now it's too windy," he said. "Close the ones on that side and leave the others open. And what is this disgusting fly doing on my plate? Gross!"
"Yes, sire."
"This food is delicious," Roderick said. "Thank you." "Ah," Prince Alfred said. "Yes, it's quite tasty, but I don't think they did a good job with the peas. They are overcooked." I tasted a few peas. I didn't think there was anything wrong with them. They were excellent. What a picky guy, that prince. But before I could analyze this weirdo even more, my sister spoke up. "Ew, a hair! Get the hair out of my food!" she screamed.
"It's probably your own hair," I mumbled.
Roderick chuckled. "Someone get the hair out of her food," the prince said. "And take this ghastly side dish back to the kitchen, too. Ugh, I'm tired. The whole day has just been stressful."
"What did you do?" I asked.
Just, don't even go there," the prince said. "I just don't like the way they handle things here. I constantly have to tell them what to do or they will get it wrong." Roderick and I looked at each other. We were starting to see the pattern. For another 2 hours, we put up with Princess Meredith's and Prince Alfred's complaints. They complained about the food, the drinks, the smells, their clothes, the seats, the messy table, the people in the country, their family, and most of all, about how tired they were. It was like an echo every time. My sister would whine about this or that, and the prince would confirm it or repeat the same dissatisfaction. When dinner was over, I stood up and announced my decision. "Princess Meredith and Prince Alfred, as the queen, I now allow you to date each other and eventually marry each other as you please. Roderick will guide me back to my home country, and we will hear from you later. I will depart in 20 minutes. There. Done. They were perfect for each other, those two. I didn't want anything to do with their murmuring remarks anymore. We socialized a little more, and then I left, protected by Roderick and another set of guards. This time, we took a detour, a secret passage which Roderick told me about, leading me around the forest and safely back to my palace. Chapter 7. Married. When Roderick arrived at my palace, he was amazed. I knew he wanted to say that I got spoiled, but he kept his tongue in place and showed respect towards the queen. He was quite obedient when I told him to wait when I discussed some things with my servants. When I came back, I told him he could stay at one of the living quarters in the South Tower. This way, we would be close enough to get to know each other, but far away enough to keep our distance. The months flew by. He showed me all the things he had learned as a survivor in the forest, and I showed him some royal manners and governing principles. We had a blast, and about 5 months later, he proposed to me. I guess you want to know how he did it, don't you? Well, he climbed the tower I slept in. At the time, I thought he was crazy, but I loved it. He had hooked up a rope to the top of the tower roof by throwing a sheet with a hook at it and attaching it that way. Then he climbed up and appeared in my bedroom. "Ah, what are you doing here?" I asked, feeling glad that I was at least decently dressed. "I have a question for you," he said. "Whew. But first, I have to rest for a bit. That was a long climb, you know." "You're so silly," I said. "Take your time." He stood and leaned forward with his hands on his knees, catching his breath. Then he took a ring out of his pocket and went down on one knee, popping the question. Of course I said yes when he asked me, despite the civilians' rumors that I was dating a guy who wasn't royalty. I didn't care. I was the queen. I was the one who decided whom I wanted to marry. At that moment, I took the ring and kissed him. We planned the wedding shortly after that. It was wonderful. At the wedding, I still heard my sister and her new husband complain a lot. They mentioned that the decorations were not to their taste, that the food was disgusting, that it was hot outside, and that the chickens from the farm next door were running around at the wedding, mixed with the loud children from the families I had invited. I laughed at their complaints. I guess that's one way to find each other, by both complaining a lot, but not me. I found my man. Roderick was polite, sweet, and courageous. He was fit to become king at my side. And we lived happily ever after. The end. This has been Queen's Diary, Diary of a Courageous Queen, Adventure Stories for Kids. Written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Production copyright 2017 by Jeff Child.